Well, clearly I'm in a different spot out here. This is pretty nice. In case you're wondering how I found this place or how I got the idea to stay here, remember my Parker video when I was at the casino, the Blue Water Casino? It's actually right over there on the other. This is the dam that I actually filmed with my drone. And as it turns out, I started watching some of the drone footage and I saw this land right here. I saw the aerial shot of this, and that's what gave me the idea to find the access road. You can kind of see some cars and motorhomes out there. That's California out there. Looking this way, that's how I found this place. And I don't, unfortunately, I don't have any information about it. I don't even know who owns the land. I can't even promise that it's BLM land, but clearly there has been camping out here before. There's a few fire rings by the Colorado River here, and an old abandoned restroom, bathroom up there, vault toilet. So I don't know, this isn't one of those places where I will be providing GPS coordinates because I just don't know. Sometimes you just find something and you're not sure, but if you get what you want out of it, and what I'm looking for right now is just a little peace and quiet, a little alone time, relaxed time. I would like to do some things. Not trying to make this sound mean, but I would like to do some things without being constantly having to knock at the door or interactions. I just need a break, and then I'll be right back to normal tomorrow. So that's what I'm doing. Before I get too settled here, one little tip about boondocking out in the desert. It's not really like snake season right now. I think it's just too cold for snakes, so I'm not worried about scorpions or snakes or stuff like that. But certainly creepy crawlers, ants and spiders and stuff like that, and other insects and bugs from the desert can be an issue, and that's why I travel around with this, is for times like these. To keep the bugs from getting into my RV, I'll show you what I do. So the only part of my RV that's touching the ground are the rubber tires, right? So what I do is I just build a little barrier around the tires with the spray, essentially. It's okay to hit the actual tires. I'll hit on that side, then we'll go behind it, like that. And we're just building a little bug separation between my rubber, and they'll never come up the tires because it's an insect killer. There's also been times where I've actually, if I go into an RV park and I'm staying there for a couple days, I'll spray the cord that's plugged in so that ants don't crawl from the ground into my compartment. I'll even spray the outside of my drinking hose with this so that they don't crawl up and go into that section as well. But just creating a little barrier between my RV and the ground is a good thing. It makes me feel safe, I guess. I don't know. One of the things I want to do is replace this plug for my RV's connection here. Sorry about the low light. I tried to film over in the sun and it's just too bright and blinding and warm over there, so I'm going to do shade instead. But this plug, actually, when I was in Florida, what had happened is some of the plastic yellowing here started to melt, and these are all corroded and green, and there's black around the edges. It's just, I think that there's a lifespan on these guys. Luckily, I'm blessed with, this cord is unusually long for an RV. It's over 16 feet long, so even if I had to cut part of this, and I'm going to open this up and see if it's corroded in here, I don't know yet, but it's easy to, like I said, when I was in Quartzsite, I got the replacement plug for 19 bucks, and since I'm installing the same exact one, this should be an easy, there's 4 screws right here, so I'll take those out, and we'll have a look at the innards here. Forgot to mention there's also 1 screw up here. So you got 4 down here, 1 up there. Unfortunately, we're doing this the nomadic fanatic way, which is one of these screws is completely stripped in there for some reason before I even put the screwdriver to it. Completely stripped. So I've got most of them off. I am not going to be able to reuse this no matter what. So since I can't get that screw out, we're just gonna pry it. And that's what we're left with in there. So all I have to do is remember how this is all hooked up and rehook it back up. Before we get too far here, you might notice this little center thing is in, you can't get a screw in there, and it was baffling me for quite a moment until a light bulb went off in my head and realized that these all can just pop out so that you can actually get a screw on it. Yeah, how about that? Before I put this back into the new connector here, let me show you why I'm actually going to strip this back and start over. First of all, the white negative here has a nice little cut right there showing wire. You do not want any exposed wire below where it's actually shaved off there, so that's bad. Plus, Also, see the positive wire here, the black wire with the green turquoise colors on the tips and back in here? You really don't want any of that. So because I'm just doing this project the right way, I'm going to cut back some of this insulation, chop these off down here, restrip them, and we'll get some fresh, good-looking wire to go in my new plug. So I got it all hooked back in here. You can see what's going on in there. The cool thing about the new ones is if you forget where the wires go, you've actually got a black screw for where the positive goes, and this one's clear for the negative, and then neutral goes up here. So that is nice, but the interesting thing about this, I thought it was going to be an easy swap. Well, positive and negative are swapped on this one as far as the screws were at, but they put the right wire in the old one. Just in case you saw that video and you were wondering, this looks a little different. This is the way it's supposed to go, but yeah, anyway, gonna hammer in these. It might be easier also to pull these out and screw them in and then put them back in, which is what I'm gonna do now, and then we'll seal this guy back up. All right, there we go, all put back together, looking fresh, looking clean, no corrosion or anything. That was I almost said simple project. It's never simple when I start doing something, but in the end, we got her fixed up. I got a lot more projects I want to do out here in the desert, so I'll kind of sneak some of those in here and there between doing stuff. All right, back over here in the sun just to help the shot here for you guys. I don't do this very often, but sometimes if I'm going to be parked for the entire day, it's a little warm. I'm getting lots and lots of solar right now. I mean, more solar than I know what to do with. What I can do, and what some of you guys can do, is tap in your main RV system into your solar system. So what do I mean? I mean, I've got solar on the roof, and then I've got 5 batteries of storage with an inverter. This, in order to get power through all the outlets and to be able to use everything in my RV, this needs to be plugged into what we call shore power. But what if I plug this into my inverter, which comes from solar? Basically, I will be able to use all the lights and everything off of solar while I'm here. It's really cool. And it's really easy to do. What I'll do is I will swap my 30 amp prong connection with this adapter, which is basically 20 amp, but we call this 110 or 120 volt. Plug that into my extension cord, and then we'll go inside. What I was gonna say is we're gonna plug this end into the inverter in my RV. So basically that's what we're doing, but I actually don't have to, because if you know me, I actually have this yellow cord, which comes out of my compartment here, is plugged into my inverter. So this is solar power right here. So when I plug this in, what I will have done, I don't know if you heard my microwave click on in there, but basically I'm running my entire RV as if I'm plugged into shore power, but I'm running it off of solar, and we'll go inside and take a look at something. So again, as you see, we are 14.1 volts and 20 amps coming in here with the sun here at the Colorado River. That's a lot of sun, right? But this means essentially I can go over to this big massive air conditioner right here and I can turn on the fan. There we go. We're getting nice cool air blowing this way, blowing that way. Let's go back over here to the readout. Now we're dropped to 13.7, but still bringing in 25 amps with those 2 panels. Some of you have asked me, can I run the air conditioner? Well guys, guess what? I cannot run my air conditioner. The reason why I cannot run my air conditioner is because this pure sine inverter here is only a 1,000 watt. I believe I would need to have a 4,000 watt inverter here in order to run my generator, which is not to say I don't have the battery power to do it, but I certainly don't have the capability to do it with the system right now. So we'll just reset it. 1,000 watts is really what I'm limited to peak. So I can't run the microwave, and I can't run the coffee pot. And I clearly cannot run the air conditioner, but you know what? Just having the fan on low like that really, really helps in here keep it cool. On the plus side, I have all of my normal outlets in here working. So anything I wanted to charge right now or power. It is important to note that since I am basically plugged into shore power here, my inverter is going to be operating inside here. So what does that mean? This is going to send a trickle charge about 1 to 3 amps of voltage to the batteries from the batteries, which might not be a good thing if you think about it. If you wanted to, you could turn the breakers off, but that defeats the whole purpose of being able to use the outlets and use the fan from the air conditioner. But just so you know, you are technically charging batteries with inverted power from the batteries. So yeah, just so you know. But hey, it's nice and convenient. And what are we reading over here now? Yeah, still 13.3 volts and 22 amps coming in here at the river. Not bad, huh? You know, it's just another option. Kind of a pain in the butt to hook it up that way. I never intended to make it work that way in an easy way. Actually, it was very important for me to make my solar system separate from the onboard system because I don't need to keep the other part of the system charged all the time. It operates the lights inside the RV and the water pump itself to pump the water to the shower and the igniter for the actual water heater. Other than that, it doesn't really matter. I don't do this too often. It's just kind of a convenience thing. Also, if I absolutely know I'm going to be boondocking somewhere for more than a week, which has not happened too often in my life, but if that happens, having it set up this way actually makes it so that my fridge is going to run off of electric, because all I do is I set it to automatic, and then since it knows I'm plugged into power, what it thinks is normal shore power, actually it's solar power being inverted for it, but it's going to cut it off and not run it on propane, which saves my propane for my oven and my water heater and my stove. That way I'm running my fridge off of solar instead out in the desert, which is kind of cool. I set it up that way. I know a lot of people don't do it that way. It's a couple cords I got to plug in to make it work, but you know, it's kind of nice. Also, this spot I'm at right here, this is the Parker Dam here. And I thought about going down to the water because there's no signs that say no swimming down here, whereas the casino over there are clear signs that say nope, not allowed. So it's really steep right here to the water, but maybe we'll just go walk around and see if we can find some access. I just got my sandals and they actually opened, it looks like 3 of the 5 dam locks are now open, so the water's gonna be a little higher and moving a little faster downstream. Still gotta find a path down there though. Well, there's the water, guys. We've got some palm trees down here by the river's edge. Found some nice spot to jump in the water.
You take my breath away. You say the right things to a man that lost his way. You're a savior of the soul. With your body you make it go. There's a dollar on your thigh.
They could bring up